Hey students, welcome to Module 3. My name is Professor Celeste Martinez, and I hope you're doing well. This module is going to be quite interesting because we are going to explore other options for creating content besides social media platforms, which we're going to be dealing with them throughout this course. But it's good that you have some exposure to some of the other popular formats. Most of you already may know. And so what I want to do is record a small section here so I can make an introduction and give you just a couple of pointers. So I'm sure you've heard about podcasting, the numbers of podcasts and the listeners. Um, really increased during the pandemic. Remember, everyone was at home, so there were people that already had their ideas, and so they decided to create the podcast. It's a good source of revenue if you get to build a community and have followers. But as every other thing, it takes time for that to happen. And if you have a good audience size, you could also explore having advertisers in your podcast to generate some revenue. So podcasting has some advantages. First of all, the podcasts, they are sound files, so they are easy to access. You can listen to a podcast in your car, in or from your phone or a computer. Second, you can listen to what you want. You get to choose what topic do you want to know more about, and the list, especially on platforms like Anchor and like Spotify, are pretty big in terms of the topics for the different podcasts available. You can listen to a podcast while you do something else, so they are popular for people known for multitasking, like for example, going to the gym, maybe listen to a podcast on a treadmill. I spent last night listening to a podcast about the Dateline program right in the middle of the night because I couldn't sleep. So I put that and then I fell asleep immediately. So yes, people multitask just as they do with Twitter and watching TV. People are just multitasking. So it's good to have a podcast and get people to pay attention. Maybe split the attention in two or three, but most people like me just enjoy it while we walk, or maybe on the gym, or maybe in the car if you're stuck in traffic. Number four is that they build the intimacy. So the good thing is that people, when it comes to podcasting, especially those in the nonfiction area, you or the audience connects with the actual host, or several hosts. They also tend to be like a lot more accessible via those social channels, the host, or email, even if you are an average media personality. So that is one other good thing about the podcast. This one I like really much, and it's like they are owned media. Remember, on last module we spoke about owned media and paid media. So with owned content, with the content that you create, you can get your message across your audience exactly the way you want it. There's no one in the middle filtering your message and getting the message out there. Number five, I think I mentioned this at the beginning, they have a high revenue potential. So before you start earning any ad revenue, of course, you have to build your audience and who's following your podcast consistently. But once you do, you can tap into this market for a profit potential. So I have some stats from eMarketer that they predicted that by the end of this year, the total ad spending in podcasts in the US will be $1.13 billion. And number six, podcasts help you build trust, credibility, and also brand recognition. There's a study that found that the listeners value regularity. So if you say you're going to publish every week, well, you got to stick to that and be consistent. People also prefer a shorter length, which is what I try to do with these recordings too. Shorter meaning 16 to 30 minutes. Obviously, people like to be entertained. So, like your the main message of your podcast should be giving something valuable, telling valuable stories. Remember, just like social media, this is not a space to make direct sale, or you may lose some audience members there. Here is a good example of a podcast that I am listening to, not on a daily basis, maybe weekly, but it's a podcast about a very popular topic right now, the NFTs. And the idea with this podcast by Brian Franzo is to publish one episode per day for a year. So he started back in November. He's been consistent with that. Some of the episodes are shorter than others, but the information there it's really easy to digest. And of course, his appeal is to marketers who aim to know more about what the NFTs are and about the cryptocurrencies, which may be a little bit hard to understand. But yes, he has his point. He's consistent, short episodes and give valuable information. You want to educate your audience. He's kind of an entertainer too because he's funny. So if you want to just follow him, you can look for him at any podcast platform. The blogs, I'm sure you know what a blog is. Actually, Solutions for Change and some nonprofits have blogs, and this is what occurred before the podcast became popular. So it's a written format of kind of to with the same intent of providing value, entertaining or educating your audience. Most of the blogs now live within a website, which is most of the cases. Others are just blogs or platforms that began as blogs and they have evolved into maybe more comprehensive websites with more content. And here is one example of this travel blog that is called the Points Guide. So this if you are a financially savvy traveler, you don't want to miss this blog. It began as a travel blog dedicated to giving tips on credit cards and reward points, like to how to get the most out of those in terms of traveling. But it has evolved, and now they cover everything regarding how to boost your airline points and miles, maybe hacking hotel rewards, or how to travel for free, meaning how to find the best deals for trips. And he gives a lot of space and importance to credit card reviews, which he has used, and so it's a nice perspective. Now, his initial idea was to give this tips on credit cards and reward points, which is one of the articles that I am showing here. But if you go to the website, you're gonna see how the menu has been have resulted, or how as the content has grown into other like travel tips and other travel ideas, not necessarily directed or related to traveling. Um, this is a blog for the nonprofit organization. As you can see, the last time they posted was December 1st, 2021. I can tell you that they get most of the email subscriptions out of those blog pieces. So maybe it's a good time to recommend publishing or going back to publishing. They write shorter articles with on content related to what their mission is and the services they offer. And lastly, you need every business, in my opinion, needs to have a website. Is a home office of its headquarters of every business, and it's a property that you own too. And what happens is space Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, they don't exist. Then what's going to happen to the content you spend so much time creating there? So might as well live or have your website with your blog integrated, or um, encrypting the podcast episodes, and so your audience finds ways to connect with you directly, to shop from you directly. And of course, every website needs to have a sharp appearance, a smooth visual flow, easy to navigate. I don't know if it has happened to you that you go to a website and you click on a button and it doesn't take you where you're supposed to, so then you leave. You want to avoid that, and people should feel comfortable following the website, engaging with it, and having the buying experience as easy as possible. So please feel free to review all the materials on this module, and I'll see you in the next one.